Buenos nachos, amigos, and welcome to another episode of Through the Tomes, another fantastic adventure through Dungeons and Dragons, guided by an amateur dungeon master, using adventure modules, tools, and resources that are available to find for free or for purchase out there on the internet, so you can build your own adventure and you see how easy it is. I'm Petey Rave, the aforementioned amateur dungeon master. Here with me is my team, my party, my very patient friends. We've got playing Wind and Summer, Daisy.
Hey, everybody.
We've got playing Tobold Toby Underborough, Brett.
Ahoy hoy.
Yes. Playing Lucius Zanero, we've got Matt.
Howdy.
And playing Solero Talion, we've got Drew.
I'm glad I don't work tomorrow, and Petey knows why that is, probably.
Chopping blocks aside,
Oof! Too soon.
I'm gonna just, for no reason, I'm gonna probably after this game gonna look up unemployment information for Florida, but that's beside the point. We're talking Dungeons and Dragons. We're talking about the fun stuff. We're here to play Dungeons and Dragons. We're in the middle of a really nice little fun encounter, nice little fun adventure, beachside shenanigans, courtesy of the Explorer's Guide to Wildmount. If you are not familiar with Critical Role, which is if you're a Dungeons and Dragons fans and you haven't at least heard of them, I shouldn't say you're crazy, because you know what, you're one of the those that have something to look forward to in checking it out, and I'm happy for you, because it's a great show with a great community. And with a great world that the incomparable Matt Mercer has built in Exandria. And Explorer's Guide to Wildmount introduces you to Wildmount, introduces you to a lot of the really great variants, the really great worlds and politics and and characters that you can use and build your own adventure, use parts, use all of it, and gives you great resources and some really extra stuff for really cool extra stuff for backgrounds, and some nice little starter adventures. So we're pulling from that. So be sure to go check it out with the links. The link is going to be in the show notes, or just look up Explorer's Guide to Walmart, or go look up your local bookstore, your local game store. See if they're, hopefully they're shipping, or at least having in-store pickup, so you can safely come in and just pick up the book, or you might be able to stop by safely, masks and briefly.
Masks, man.
And masks on and briefly, but stop, support your local game store and your local bookstores for this and any other really cool stuff for Dungeons and Dragons, because they kind of need it right now. So please. With that being said, that's Explorer's Guide to Wildmount and things like that. We're also doing, we have magic items from Griffin's Saddlebag. Griffin's Saddlebag, they make really great homebrew items. Really make great homebrew items. They really make really cool stuff. It's every day they're coming out with really cool new items that I'm like, I want to bring that into the game. So I've got there's a folder of so many of those cards. I'm just thinking about, when can I give them this? There's some great legendary artifacts in there. I'm looking forward to trying to craft or pull whatever end game stuff to justify getting this item. Because there's some really cool stuff. But yeah, go check it out. None of these people are, just so you know, none of these people are sponsors of the show. We just wanted to highlight the resources.
Not to you, Petey. I'm getting that Griffin Saddlebag side money.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard about Raid Shadow Legends?
I don't know. I'm not going to talk about
NordVPN.
that unless they pay me. Also, other people that are not paying me is the brewery that I'm still going through the Floridians from Funky Buddha.
Blue Chew, your go-to.
It's a nice
I'm
Hefeweizen. It's a nice little Hefeweizen.
I'm drinking a Rar and Sons Ugly Pug Black Lager.
Nice.
It's very good.
I'm having a diet Dr. Pepper.
Yes.
Diet. It tastes more like regular Dr. Pepper, so they say.
Yes. You got to watch
More
your
than
liquor.
what? Who can say? But it tastes more like.
I do love. Daisy has a great, nice new angle from into your room. I think you shifted around your stuff. You get a nicer look at Nyan Cat back there.
Yeah, the camera was here,
Pop-Tart cat.
but now it's here.
With your
And if she
scrum
decides to stand up,
license plate.
Yeah, some of that stuff was out of sight, out of the camera. So
Yeah.
last week, I, with the help of Brett, kind of organized it a little bit and moved that bookshelf in here. And
hey, you ever have a monitor that has two DisplayPort connections, but only one of them works at a time?
Yep.
So yeah.
yeah, let me know if
Yeah.
anyone can solve that problem for me.
Mm.
HDMI and DisplayPort, fine. Two DisplayPort cables, no. It can never be easy.
Never. All right. So,
Are we stunk yet? We're 5 minutes into this.
We're here we're talking about the adventure. We are in the midst of a little bit of chaos. We had various adventures right now. In the most immediate adventures, after a few different harrowing or not so harrowing or kind of wild adventures, either with orc raids, killing orc pirate captains, exploring an old winery, being squatted in by an old hag that makes crappy lemonade. The party was looking forward to a little bit of R&R before they were gonna head off their ways to the next adventures, and celebrating Zenith in Palma Flora, in particular the Flora Isle, the beach side area, just outside of the main town. They were enjoying a little bit of sun and relaxation and some drinks, and then the earth started shaking and some like fish humanoid creatures known as Sahwajin started attacking. Of course, the party sprung into action, put on their armor, with the exception of Summer, who is a monk, so she don't need no armor, so she's fighting in her bathing suit, which is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Which is
Chavo and Pseudo Dragon. They suited up and did some damage.
They did some damage. And so a couple of things. So they fought a few on the shore, went over to help out some sailors and a young acolyte that was in need of help over there to get ready to escape. On the last ship, still taking refugees to get out of town, got offshore. And then they were going to the North Shore to help help some people that are trying to swim to safety on the other side, but facing the possible wrath of some sharks and some Sahwajin and some reef sharks. And that's where we left off. So, let me see. Let me put up this map so everybody's back where they were. Okay. Counter North Shore. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And they're on. Okay. So, I do have a couple things that a little housekeeping. Give me the. Oh, is it hiding? Oh yeah, it's right there. Like staring me right in the face. Couple of housekeeping. So, the ship. I forgot to mention the ship is a. One of the things you notice about the ship is that it's a. It's a nice like, two-masted caravel. With the name Wave Chaser, emblazoned on it. And like the sailors that helped you out, I think one of them, two of them should be human. One of them was a green elf. I might correct it later, but one of them was not a blue skinned, no, green skinned like elf, like a sea elf, and a tabaxi. That's a but you don't know their name. They just went to get to business, working on the ship. So, and then I had one more thing to tell Matt. So I'm gonna move Matt over here. I'll be right back. So you recognize the Wave Chaser as a revelry ship. It's a pirate ship.
Interesting.
They're low-level revelry members, but stop it! Shut up! Goddamn, all these fucking notifications. I don't care. They're relatively low level. They usually are like treasure hunters and things like that. But you recognize the ship. Sorry, like I'm getting like multiple Twitch notifications on my computer with loud noises. Like,
oh, that's always great.
Yeah. Like I'm not important right now. I get that my friends are going live, but I'm trying to host the show. But that's basically what you remember. You remember them. You didn't really like work with them. You knew like of the members, and it's that quick moment of recognizing the ship. That's all that comes to mind before you guys spring into action going forward. As far as like, who knows what might come to mind later on if we go back to on the ship. But right now, that's what comes to mind as at recognition of the ship.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's that. All right, I'm gonna put you guys over there, so you can let them know.
Said,
yeah.
that he doesn't want to make just albums anymore. Was part of the point.
Bass guitars.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he was working a lot with bass guitars, bass
amps.
The Fender American Jazz.
Yes.
My preferred bass guitar.
All right. So, we were where we left off. Y'all made it up to the North Shore. With seemingly with a few villagers, villagers trying to make it to safety. One relatively close, a few kind of in the middle, unsure of what to do. It's like kind of like just why is this? Okay. Do not disturb on my phone. No, I don't think that's going to stop it.
You shall not Disturb.
Connected to the computer again.
Sure.
All right. Let's make these fucking notifications stop. All right. That being said.
Smote their ruin.
That being said. The setup. So, let's work on. Let's have y'all roll initiative.
Oh yay! So let's get ready real quick.
Are you fucking shitting me?
Ooh, the ranger.
Have no
Sounds
fear.
like somebody needs the luck feat.
Yes.
I don't know if actually. I don't.
Well, I guess
Maybe
I'll
that
see you
doesn't-
guys in like 10 minutes when I get to take my turn. Jesus Christ.
Hey, somebody's gotta bat ninth.
Let's see how Mortal does. Yeah, right there with
Hey,
Mortal.
see, you got some company.
You're still a little bit. You're behind Mortal and Commoner 6.
Commoner 6.
Great.
I'm trying to. So yeah. So okay. So let me get all this set up.
I
What you see
need
is
the
you see.
deluxe character sheet.
Yes.
Okay, what do we see, Petey?
So you basically just see the let me see. Okay. I'll drop the flavor text down there. So you see out there, you see the villagers on the water, trying to get swimming over to the other side. You see about a dozen villagers on the other side trying to beckon them on kind of like the shore. If they get to the other side, on this side, it's a pretty sheer cliff. I would say it's been. You remember it being about 10 feet high. I would say it takes you a couple minutes to get to the boat, do the thing. It takes you a few minutes. At this point, if you look down, you could swear it's half as far down now as it was when you guys crossed the bridge. So, it's there. But on the other side, there's a shore that people are standing at, trying to encourage people. But it's 50. It's quite a bit across. This map is a little off as far as the dimensions, but it is about 50 feet across. Especially with kind of the shift from the island kind of sliding down and sinking. Yeah, so Toby. Oh, and you do see that on the other side. A couple familiar faces. You do see on Elisa's on the other side, trying to like beckon people. And she's in her bathing suit. She had her back ready, and she's in her bathing suit. She'd already changed, and she was right. If you remember what she said in her bathing suit.
Is Mrs. Odette there holding Tibby?
No, but you do see Hrawl, the Canid. He's like he's just tempted to like go in, but he's not a great swimmer. He can only doggy paddle. But yeah, you see in the water. It's just a lot of them seem like it's a couple of humans, a tiefling, maybe an elf, possibly. The paler of them, especially the paler humans, are sunburnt in a way that makes you think quite a few of them are probably tourists. And visitors, and they're probably a little bit out of their element. I think they seem sunburned except for the tiefling, obviously, just because there's different. The skin would look differently, and one of them is just has naturally darker skin. But they still like seem like a little bit out of their elements. But yeah. So Toby starts off. What do you do?
So I see these sea creatures.
Yeah.
And I am aware that there is some shenanigans under the sea.
Yeah.
With animals that would normally be doing things.
Yeah.
How far can I move without it taking up time for me to do stuff?
So you have 25 feet of movement.
Yeah. So that would be not far enough for me to do what I want.
Yeah.
Or it does not benefit me much.
You got any rope on you?
I don't have rope, but I do. Hold on. Not have the spell. Yes, I do have. I have some feather fall. If in last time we had rope issues, I decided to do something about it.
Yeah.
But I do have rope. Actually, we all have rope.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. We all had rope.
Yeah.
Can we confer?
I would say, yeah, you can like confer. Yeah. You could mention before that you had rope. But you can start processes each on your turn. If you want to do stuff. And people can jump in on a task on their turn.
Yeah. I don't know how attacking into water works. Do I have to know where they're gonna be? Is refraction an issue from? I'm not gonna be dropping bullets in from.
It's like I would say it's identical to firing blind, which is at disadvantage.
Screw that.
Whoa.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Brett, why did you have to ask that?
But it's like firing blind. But it's not an impossibility. It's a mechanic. It would be simple. It's just disadvantage.
Meaning, don't use a spell that requires rolling that kind.
I don't have anything that's not an area of effect spell. So unless I'm hugging those things, we're screwed.
Well, okay, don't roll anything that requires a d20.
Yeah, so I'm going to wait until somebody can need my help.
Do you have shatter?
I have used all of my shatters that I can use.
He shat all he could.
That's right. I am down to the. I am just barely a wizard.
Yes.
I'm mostly just a musician.
Yes. He's just he can sing you a tune. So you're holding your action. Are you holding? What are you holding? What are you holding?
Some rope. I'm gonna be utilitarian.
Are you prepping some rope for somebody to tie it, like to tie further ends to?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes, I am.
Can you throw it
definitely
across the river or something?
I would say you got, and the dimensions a little bit. You got one, a human male that's closest, about 20 feet out, in the water. So you can move. You're pretty close, so you can move up to the shore if you want. And start, call their attention and start getting the rope out to them.
Yes, that works.
If that's what you want to.
So are we? I thought they were. Are we trying to get them back on the island to get on the ship, or are we trying to get them safely across to the North Shore, or both?
It's up to you. If you, because some are closer to that shore,
South
some are
shore
closer to
of the
this.
mainland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the original plan was try to get them onto our side and load them up on the ship.
Okay.
But if they can get to the other side on their own.
Yeah. So.
But I don't know if
Yes.
these people know each other.
Of course,
you know,
yeah.
try to go together.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. So you call it the it's like a relatively young, relatively older human male, like darker hair, sunburnt like face. You know that like that rosy cheek and vacation in Cabo face. You know.
I've definitely never seen that in the mirror. No.
Yes.
No idea what you're talking about.
And like you catch their attention and they like look at you. It's like, oh, okay, and then obviously it looks like on their turn they will at least try to make their way over to you to get safety. So you got that going, which is your turn.
Combat tracker.
Commodore 2.
There you are.
So let me see their speed. They're about halfway. It's about 25 feet. So their speed is 30 feet. So they can do. They start swimming. They make it over about 15 feet. And yeah, but they're not quite. They can't quite dash. They're not quite skilled, so it's not like they're gonna be able to like do things like dash. So they're trying to swim it along desperately. They're about 15 feet over. So about 25. I'll say they get what did I say? It's like 20 feet. The commoner uses their swimming to get over to the where you're trying to get the rope down to. He can kind of reach the rope. You figure you can pull it down there, and on your next turn or on somebody's turn, somebody else's turn if they help, you guys can pull them up then.
The muscles over here, this halfling, it's halfling bard. Gonna come on up.
Yeah.
Only we had some sort of cloven-hooved animal along with us that we could.
Hey,
Bass guitars.
What happened to our horse that we bought?
Bass.
We talked to a man about a horse, and now we no longer have a horse to deal with.
We didn't get any money back from that though.
But we don't have to have a horse, which is
like when I traded my drum set for a Boss loop pedal. The other guy got the slightly better deal monetarily, but I no longer had a drum set.
Yes.
I did something similar with a car and a PA system.
PA systems are a lot.
But I didn't have to deal with a crappy car.
How crappy was the car?
Pretty crappy.
It was pretty bad.
All right. As I set up. Okay. Let's see what
was the thing I was playing with on the dash and I lost? The little mighty beams.
Oh, that was into a Camaro. That was a Camaro dash that it fell into.
Maybe it was one of the ninjas. The little.
No, it was a mighty bean that fell into the dash of a Camaro. And if you've ever looked at how much it costs to get behind that, it's about an 18-hour job to take the dash apart. So it lives in that Camaro to this day.
Yeah. Okay. So.
What year Camaro?
1990.
Okay. Well, you're gonna hold. Okay.
It was definitely a mullet mobile.
It was.
And I loved it for a little bit.
Once I got a 300ZX, I was like, what am I doing with this Camaro?
Okay.
Was that the...
Then Daisy drove it.
Was 90 the first one of, like, the more, like, sports car looking body style that I think of as 90s Camaro, or was it still
it looks almost
80s
identical
Camaro?
to an 80s one.
Okay.
It's the square burner.
Right.
My grandmother had, like, that era of Camaro. And she called it her Batmobile because it was black with gray interior.
All right,
my grandmother is cool.
So there's a human female that was near person helping him out, and she goes and joins
Indecisive.
She joins him, hoping to have you all help them both up. So you might have to do one at a time, or see if you can pull them both up. But that's what they do. Lucius,
I have lost all sense of what the actual tone is.
Yes. Yes. So and you with your passive perception, you definitely notice, like, and what you guys suspect. You notice that that all the commoners, on the water, they do glance at the sharks, but they're definitely looking at something down towards that area. Like if they're concerned about something there as they try to swim over there.
When you say down which direction?
Like into the water. Like they're looking at the sharks, and then they look down in the water. Like, is there something that...
I would like to move here and peer into the water and see if I can see what they're looking at.
With all the movement and all there, it's hard to really get a good look under there. You probably have to get in.
Okay. Is it like, is it sloping down? Like, can I?
You have it's about 5. It's sheer on this side, but it's not as deep as it was last time. It's like a 5-foot fall. Like you can, if you wanted to jump down, you use like 10 feet of your movement, I would say. Or no, you can like just dive. It's 5 feet. Yeah, just dive. And it'll be safe. Use.
Okay.
Yes, it will.
It'll be safe.
Absolutely.
Impact upon the water will not kill you.
The impact of the water was not my concern. My concern was getting back out of the water.
Yeah. But
rolls a 1 falls on face. Yeah.
Just grab the rope. We'll pull you up.
Okay, there is a rope, isn't there? Yeah, I'll jump in the water.
I heard it was like 5 feet. You can jump that.
Yeah, it's 5.
Can I jump back out though?
Have to get a lot of swimming strength.
Okay. Well, I mean, we'll find out.
You know quite a few. I mean, you know quite a few creatures that have pretty good climbing ability. Like,
that's true.
You may not be allowed to have swimming or flying speed, but you have good climbers.
I was gonna say, I'll just ask a seal. It's fine.
Yeah.
We'll bribe a seal.
Hey,
I can just be another goat.
Yeah.
If I need to.
You do you swim out a little bit, or?
Yeah, like I want to see what's down there.
Okay, so like how much you did, like 5, I think, and then like 5. It's 10.
Yeah, I think I had started.
5 over and then 5 down. So that's, I think you did 5, 10, 15.
Does dark vision work underwater?
Yeah, but I don't. So depending on how far, I would say if you swim out a little bit and you look down under the water, you can definitely see. There's a Salhwajin. That may actually have been holding their attack. So.
Under me?
Right in front. If you swim down, I would say a little bit lower, but right in front of you.
Okay. I do have dark vision, by the way, if it matters.
No, it shouldn't. Turn my fucking phone off. That's my solution.
And eyeballs of steel.
Literally turn the power off. But yeah, you can definitely see Salhwajin. And that Salhwajin decides to go ahead and shoot a spear.
You're telling me, oh, okay, if it's a spear, okay.
Yeah, I know it's a spear.
That's reasonable. I was about to say, you're telling me I couldn't see this guy until I'm within 5 feet of him.
No, you can see him now that you're underwater and you're not dealing with the
okay,
everybody splashing around, the fish splashing around, like the constant movement of the water from like the
Gotcha.
It was a little bit harder to see from surface, but from you're able to, especially with you have dark vision, you have but even it's pretty bright, so you see it pretty clearly. Like
Okay, yeah.
Like
I'm with you now.
When you're in the darkness because you see like just shapes and lights and things like that, and you see black and white, but you can see it clearly, so you know that it's not dark. It's just
not. I'm no longer having to look through churn
and chaos.
Okay.
Yeah. So now you get a better.
I no longer feel slighted.
Yeah. Yeah. But he does chuck a spear at you. He's going to do it.
Oh, and it comes slow, like a torpedo.
He does it just as soon as he sees you, not really thinking about it. But it is out of his usual range, so it is going to be a disadvantage.
Nice.
No aftertouch.
Right? Yeah, he's not a half sharpshooter. Also, I just realized, Drew, Solero has sharpshooter. So when you shoot long range, I didn't remember this. If you ever shoot long range, you don't take disadvantage because you're sharpshooter. So you effectively just have, I think it's like 200 feet of range with your longbow. So you don't have to take a disadvantage beyond a certain distance. I was just looking at your character sheet the other day. I was like, wait,
wow, I'm good. Look at that stuff.
Yeah,
that is good to know.
I think I have all of my notable stuff on Post-it notes,
yes.
reminders of
I need to do that.
all of my abilities, and yeah.
I sometimes, Daisy, I sometimes look at your character sheet to try to remember what's happened. I was like, what did happen? Sure, Daisy took a note. So you're our unofficial secretary, your unofficial timekeeper.
I'm the scribe.
Yeah.
I have it all in a Google Doc, and then at the end of every episode, I copy and paste it over into the notes.
And then when we start the next week, we read the minutes from the last meeting.
Last meeting.
We should start doing that because I have really bad memory.
Yeah. All right. So.
Glad I'm on push to talk, so y'all couldn't hear my girlfriend shit talking to me in the background. That's great.
We just hear that, doesn't have to be audible. We just know it happens.
Yes. All right. So he chucks his spear. It just kind of veers to the side because it was too far. And hell, even if it wasn't long range, probably no. So he does not hit. But you can tell by the way he uses walk. Now you can tell that it is that this is you figure with make a nature check for me. Just
I would love to make a nature check.
Yeah.
You are nature. Nature needs to check you.
Remember this in this moment. Yeah. Okay. Good. That's plenty. You remember that that Sahwajin are particularly good at at having like a mental link with any sharks that they decide to want to do. You basically know that you remember that Sahwajin have shark telepathy. So that they can command sharks they can see within a sizable distance. So that you figure,
excellent.
This guy must be why these reef sharks are doing what they do.
Okay.
So,
with
that info, it's up to you.
Yeah. I think would since I am now underwater, would I be able to cast a spell that used a range attack?
Yeah, you still have
without disadvantage.
As long as it's within range, you should be fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
In that case,
slaughter it.
I will cast Ice Knife.
Ooh.
18.
Okay.
And
okay.
then let's see. I do. Does that hit?
Yes. Well, let me see.
God, I hope.
So they saved their dex save.
Okay.
So they probably I imagine takes half damage.
No, so the way it works is I cast Ice Knife and then he takes the 1d10, so he takes that full damage.
Yeah.
And then he makes the dex save against once the knife explodes. So he and the reef shark, if it's within 5 feet, I don't know.
It's about
the height.
It's about 10 feet up and 5 feet over. So no.
Okay.
So
okay.
And then
But he takes 9 damage.
Yeah, and then he just for succeeding he doesn't take the additional 2d6 cold damage.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So and and I was gonna double check, but it's somatic, so no verbal component. I was trying to look up. Yeah. I wonder if I think underwater verbal components are an issue because okay.
Because
it takes slightly longer for it to get there.
Yeah, no, because it's since you can't breathe and you're holding when you're underwater, you're holding your breath. So you get and then you take in water. So if you could breathe underwater, like say with a breathe underwater, spell, you can do verbal components or things like that. But since you're holding your breath, it's But luckily, this was just some.
As someone who has talked underwater before, I will not fight with you.
Yeah.
Pseudo dragon, go.
The pseudo dragon. The pseudo dragon kind of looks at you guys and notices nobody's attacking the sharks. So he's gonna hold. So he's unsure. He doesn't want to make a mistake. Because he's
go sting a shark.
He's a very good boy.
Yeah. So who's gonna hold his action until Mortal does something and he'll follow suit. So fortunately, the reef shark, having been commanded.
Reef shark madness.
Okay, so the reef shark does. Okay, so let me see which one is this one. This one is this one. He does go after this commoner. So
there goes his arm.
so it's
Here come the pretzels.
It's a kind of like a light blue tiefling woman. Yeah. So she's like looking at it, oh no. And he goes in for a bite.
I would be going, oh no, as well, if a reef shark was coming after me.
It's like, it's like,
Oh my god. Does that even happen?
Shark, you're bad at being a shark.
It was like the tiefling kind of thaumaturgies a gust of wind. Like, it's like not quite hard. It's not quite
ridiculous.
into it. So commoner. Does a walking stick that she's gonna use as a club.
What's the? I get the bug.
Wait.
Swimming with a walking stick does not sound like a fun time.
No.
Unless you're like push yourself along like a gondola.
Yeah.
I guess you could.
She just had it on her back. It's like,
Donatelloan.
Yeah.
Swimming with a walking stick is the name of my acoustic indie record.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the
Wow.
first album from When Glass Rusts.
Yes.
I'm going on tour with Iron and Wine next week.
That's right.
We'll be missing.
She.
I was
all
so
those
mad
musical
when I
tours
found
that
out
are
that
happening.
Iron and Wine was one person.
Yeah. All right, so she hits him for a little bit of damage, but kind of like just shakes him up. And she starts to swim off. Let's see, what's her speed? 15. Okay. Yeah. The shark does get a bite of opportunity.
The bite of opportunity. Man
And
flesh.
somehow managed.
Well,
Wow.
Oh,
let's see how this goes. Oh, okay. That's not good. I was looking at their HP. Yeah.
Oh god.
oh, yeah.
And they
Oh,
go
boy.
unconscious. They start to
Ooh.
float.
There's blood in the water
Yo!
now. Okay.
One less person we have to save. High five.
or one more person that we have to use a spell on.
Yeah. That's it.
And yes, there is blood in
Kind
the
of late
water.
for that.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Okay. Okay. So, that being said, that's her turn. That's the tiefling's turn. You got an unconscious tiefling in the water now. This is again
Daisy, you're grappled.
How am I
Oh, yeah.
grappled?
I forgot to take it off of your
Release me from the crab.
the
Release me.
imaginary crab.
let's see. Well, I guess I'm just gonna go over here and help Toby pull
Good
these
old
people out of the
Engelbert.
water.
Okay, so let's see what would we. Yeah, that makes sense. Give me since I would say it's your thing with house help. Give me a strength check with advantage.
With advantage. Whoa, that was
You
really
start
bad.
Can I also?
Oh,
it would be. It would have to be on your turn, unfortunately. But you struggle a bit.
I guess I did use my turn.
And they kind of like you kind of get them like a couple of feet up, and they kind of have their. Are you pulling both of them up and at the same time, or telling one
I
of
would
them
assume
to
so. Yeah, I would.
Okay. So they
Everybody, hang on.
the woman is has her arms around the guy's waist because she came from behind, not for she was further back and he was first to the rope.
Phrasing.
Yes.
He was first to the rope and she was second in line, so that's why she's holding on to him, just so that
the rope cue.
Yeah. So that's why she's holding on to him. And yeah, you get them to like a position where they kind of like have like their feet on not above the water but under the water but on something solid and getting themselves up, but you don't quite get them up too far. So you might need your next turn or some more help. So this shark is not going to double down on the unconscious thief thing.
Oh.
Because they're attacking moving they're told to attack, and they're looking at moving targets. They're being commanded to attack. I figure that means moving targets. Attack this other commoner. Hit.
Doesn't have to do a lot.
Yeah.
ooh.
They're common folks. They're not adventurers, so
they consume.
And they're kind of like I would say they're bitten hard. They are bleeding a little bit, and they're like, oh. They pass out from the shock and are dealing with like blood loss.
The shock. It's the shock attack.
The
shock. The system.
The shock.
Where are we going?
They're in shock.
That's
from
right.
the shocks.
They're at Martha's Vineyard. It's the shock.
Pack tactics. Is that yeah.
Give more for the
I've just been waiting for someone to say sometimes dead's better.
5.
I mean,
in the voices and someone.
The old Micmac burial ground. Yeah, that's a little more main. I was channeling my Red Sox radio broadcaster. Forget his name.
Yeah, I've seen this happen.
Chief Wiggum says.
You do, and also you do see across the channel, the other villagers are like looking on in shock, and they're like their faces and their expressions like drop and they're utterly devastated. The other reef shark goes after the other target. But unfortunately the other a person is does not. The person, unfortunately, the person evades them. That's the kind of like the younger, darker skinned human got ahead of it. They were able to kind of just like no. All right, they're up next, and they let's see, do an unarmed strike. So I'm gonna do. Okay. Unarmed strike. What is Okay. Okay. Their strength. So they're gonna roll. Where'd that dice tower disappear to? There you go. Okay. It has a one-armed strike. Not a unarmed strike. Try to punch the shark. Doesn't have the stat for it, but it's a strength mod. Which he has none. Had these commoners. There are 10s across the board.
Knock them in the head with a stomp.
Yeah. There's no enhancements. So it's like, oh, he doesn't quite. The shark just kind of swims out of the way. I'm trying to think if he notices. Yeah, he stays to keep an eye on the shark. And he got a glimpse of what happened when other people tried to run away. The name of the tiefling over there. So he's gonna stay and keep an eye on the shark and hopefully react accordingly. Mortal.
Mortal, Christmas turtle.
Mortal. Let's see, how much movement does Mortal have? Mortal has
Mortal
30.
Kombat.
5, 10, 15. Okay. So he sees all of this happening.
Mortal asks, "Are you a land shark? You sure you're not a land shark?"
So let's see, bonus action. So he's gonna use his bonus action to cast Healing Word on the tiefling. Let me make sure it's the range. Yeah, range is 60. The tiefling heals her for 7, but really she's only gonna get 4 of those. I don't know if he even has a spell slot. I think that was okay. Let me keep track of that in D&D Beyond so I don't forget. Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Cast Healing Word on the tiefling who is now like recovering. So, and like looking around like, Oh. So, and then Mortal goes ahead and helps with the lifting. Not a disadvantage, advantage.
Is that a pseudo dragon helping him to give him advantage?
No, it's you guys because it's all three of you. So take his +3 strength modifier. Let's see what he can do.
Just hold on to the rope and fall backwards.
Damn.
We don't get to know.
So you guys do get more progress, a few more feet up. They're kind of like have some footing with their feet like on the sheer side of the cliff, and they're getting closer. It's a slower progress than you figured it would be. But Mortal somehow having a tougher time, I guess, like having to like split his concentration between like casting that healing word and doing this makes it a little bit more difficult. All right. I guess he has another spell slot too. So this commoner. This is another. Okay, you move forward. Solera.
Hey, I heard the thing. Okay, so far, 3 and 2 are going to the opposite shore of us. 4 is almost dead.
Four is unconscious, then healed back up again. So,
was he healed? Okay.
Yeah, Mortal cast healing
sorry,
word.
I thought Mortal was healing somebody else. Okay.
Yeah, Mortal cast healing word to because it ran up, saw that they were bleeding and unconscious. It's like just quickly cast a healing word before trying to pull the other two up.
Can I reverse my usual MO and have Chavo try to run over and grab the rope with these guys to help Commoner 1 and 2, and then make my decision on what I want to do as a person after that?
Yeah, Chavo's like, "Hey, Chavo, go help." He's like,
"It's this pile of people."
He munches on the end behind behind Summer, because at this point you're all like, whatever rope needs to be added, you all add. But not much needed. And
I don't know what a mountain goat strength modifier is.
Let me see. He has a +2. So
Brett, it's like
I'll take it.
It's like that time we pulled a 747 with a rope with like 8 people from work.
That's right. Like
that was an experience.
Easier than
team building exercise.
Yeah.
It was for charity.
For a charity, so we did a lot of stuff like that.
He's pulling his little goat leg.
Awesome.
You get like a foot or two of more. RNGesus,
strength
man.
modifier. God damn it.
He has a great
We'll help
one.
Lucius out of the water. My God. We're never going to get these commoners.
I'm fine.
Okay. All right.
All right. I'm gonna.
They've got to hit him too.
You see a familiar arm pop out of the water, go with a thumbs up. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
I guess I'll move there and roll a strength check
with advantage, because everybody's helping.
With advantage. Okay.
Everybody's helping.
Okay, so hit the advantage button.
All these have been with advantage, which is the wildest thing.
Yeah.
Watch you.
Oh.
Yo.
Oh my God.
Watch the Ranger rolls the best roll. The good thing is your strength is like as good as Chavo's, so you have a good modifier. But yeah, so you guys with everybody working together. Chavo was like at the back, everybody working together. You're able to pull the both villagers up to safety.
Sweet
Very
Jesus.
nice.
Okay. I don't have any bonus actions, do I? I'll take the disadvantage if I can shoot a thing. Jesus.
It would have to be a bonus action. Unfortunately, you don't. That doesn't have bonus. I would say I'll give you a bonus action to like tell them something. Like tell them either go back to ship or tell them to get. I don't know if you want what you want to tell.
Yeah, I'll yell at them to like get towards the ship that's on the right side. If that ship is still
towards
there.
the docks, yeah,
on the east.
So, and he goes. They're looking. He's like, we'll get over there. Yes. Thank you so much. And and of course on their turn they'll make their way over there. Yeah, they're a little exhausted. That's it for yours and Chavo's action. Chavo's action. Your turn. Toby.
Bring. All right, so we've got these people up.
Yeah.
Finally.
Well, I wasn't expecting this to happen so soon. I was expecting to still have to deal with these people. So that changes everything.
Yeah, it wasn't that much of a up. It would have been even sooner. But RNGesus was like, no, you must struggle.
Because I don't know what else we have that we can do at this point other than to get our friendly neighborhood druid and get to the boat.
I mean, he's down there, and something caught his attention. So he didn't come up.
Has he told me about it yet? Or he's just still underwater hanging out
with a thumbs up coming about.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
why do I ask
the
questions
ice
I don't
knife
want
would
to know?
not have made it to the surface.
Yeah,
you might have seen like a little bit of.
You saw something like a wake of something like from his direction, like you might have seen. I think at this point you see him underneath, and you saw him while you were up there doing. I think, yeah, while you were up there looking down, and I would say you saw him probably like do something like he made an attack or made like a spell attack of some kind. Like, he's moving his hands a bit. You saw the water.
Like you might. Yeah, you might see the wake of the knife, and then not shards of the explosion, but like the.
You saw like you're like a little like bubble, like a shockwave, and something like a slight explosion. So you figure something's going on.
Well, well, I'm going to aim at that thing, that splash of water, because anything that's coming out of the water, I'm going to assume is a bad thing. So I'm just going to
shoot with disadvantage with your sling.
Yes. So I'm not throwing a dagger. That would be awesome, though.
To just insult the water. I guess you have to.
You know,
you have to see him, though.
Yeah, you have to see him.
Yeah, yeah. So let me go to my actions. Actually, do this on. Yay!
You just I mean, you don't know if you hit or not. It went in the water.
Sploosh.
It seemed like
let me tick off one bullet that's never coming back.
Yeah. I mean, for all you know, you might have hit.
All right. That was ridiculous. But that's how I end my turn.
Yes. Hammer
Sploof.
2. Unconscious. Is that really like? Okay, so effect. Okay. Alright, so I think I'm just gonna...
I tried, guys. I can't shatter everything all the time.
Okay.
Yet.
Yes. Can't shatter all the time. Something real quick. Okay.
Look at me. I'm in tatters. Because I can't shatter.
I know I should recognize
Okay.
that, but I don't.
I'm gonna. It's not a con save. I'm gonna just do a death saving throw for them. Ugh. That's one less. All right. Commoner 5. Okay, so they just gonna quickly, yeah, about 30 feet away. 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, they're gonna making their way downtown, walking fast.
Faces passing them homebound.
So, Salvadin swims up to you. And let's see, where's the multi-attack? Okay, so he doesn't have his spear anymore. So he's gonna claw at you.
That's right.
Oh, hey.
He's gonna claw at you and miss. And react by angrily trying to bite you and miss. Okay. Probably add those resistances. Okay. That being said, so it doesn't work out for him. Commoner 1, same deal. You see them run off. See her run off. Lucius, you got Sahwajin in your face.
Okay.
Life is much better down where it's wetter.
Take it from me.
I will cast poison spray at him.
Yes.
Poison spray.
It's like, oh man.
Ooh.
Yep.
Well, he succeeds.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And then I'll pop up. I'll pop up above the surface and be like, "There's a Sahwajin down here." FYI. And would I have been aware that Commoner 2 is dying?
Yeah,
I guess I would have seen him float below.
You see float and you see a little bit of blood. Like, yeah.
Okay. In that case, I will cast Healing Word on him.
Okay.
What word heals?
Oh. The blessings of the Wild Mother wash over the commoner and kind of like a green light, and you see his breath kind of come like back into their breath. They almost kind of like breathe into the water, but then and then they catch their breath outside. And
Also, I'm realizing I should have used Balm of the Summer Court instead. Oh well.
I mean, you can if you want to use that action.
Yeah, I think so. Just so I can hang on to that.
It's a bonus
spell
action,
slot.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So just roll what it is. I mean, you can say you used 4. 4 hit points, or you roll, right? Well, how is it again? Let me look at it.
It's a D6.
Oh.
So just roll it.
Hey.
Just hit roll D6, and if it's higher than 4,
Okay.
Even better.
So you heal them. You heal him for 4. Like, you can know that. You see all this energy, and then you realize, oh, it just 4 hit points. You didn't need that much. So I don't know.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
So
it keeps track of the dice.
okay. So just a dice.
That was one roll. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Bombs. Okay. So that. So you hold on to that action.
Neat. And
so what did you
turn.
use there?
I
Balm
used
of the Summer Court,
Balm of the Summer Court,
which is kind of like his druidic circle version of Lay on Hands. But with the roll instead of that. But like, it's the idea. Like, you have like a pool.
It's because I'm a druid and I'm awesome.
Yes.
And you got all this beeswax and like you're like, let me make a topical ointment for you.
Yeah. No, but it's
magical.
But it's ranged. It's ranged ointment.
I don't even have to. All I have to do is see them. I don't have to talk or anything.
That's a pretty handy spell 10, when you're swimming.
15, 20,
yeah.
25, 30, 35. So he's, let's say, just out of instinct, he just sees these sharks attacking, and he doesn't know to hold off. So he's gonna sting a shark that's swimming at the surface. And he's gonna miss.
Oh.
Oh. But he's floating above, out of
Land, sea, and air. The pseudo dragon does it all.
yeah. Reef shark number 3. Goes for his bite. And hits.
Well, got another corpse to worry about.
Oh man, that's wild that their AC is, they don't have armor.
Yeah. Their armor class is a pair of board shorts.
Yeah. They're unconscious again. She's unconscious again. This is a tiefling again. She's like, she's like passed out, wakes up, passes out again. It's not a good day for this poor little light blue tiefling. Like, oh, god damn it! Why did I keep double pressing? Oh, and she fails the first death save. Summer.
Oh boy. Okay, so
you do know that you
can I
remember.
see? Here, go ahead.
Oh, you do know that Lucius said something about a Sahwajin down there, and you saw some like movement in the water go from further down that way straight to him. So something might be you get the sense that something is near him.
Mm.
Okay. Let's see. What is the? Sure.
Okay, let me start by moving over here so I can get a better view of what's going on. And then these sharks, can I really see any of them?
They're all on the. They're all like kind of like going basically at surface level. A little bit of like, at least their fins are.
Okay.
They're skimming the surface.
Shit.
But you can see where they all are at. You can clock them easily.
All right. Well, I'm gonna target this shark.
Yes.
To my actions. I'm gonna try to chuck a dart at it.
Yes.
Because why not, right?
Bullseye.
I don't know why it just rolled 2.
Yes. Probably because of.
Were you still selected on advantage?
And I think you're still under the effects of bless. So
That's what I was saying. Yeah, advantage. I wouldn't have had a D4 in there.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Don't argue.
I think
not the boards.
It was that the
Aurelio.
Yeah, something he did. Aurelio? He did sanctuary, or no, he did bless, or yeah,
yes.
No. So yeah, I think I will say you're coming to the tail end of the effect of that bless spell, and then you got that, but it didn't work. It didn't matter anyways. Oh yeah, no, it hit. Right. It hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it helped hit. Nice.
A bless spell is the crushed pseudo dragon of this episode.
Yeah.
There we go. I did a little bit of damage.
Yes.
And that's it for my turn.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Come on, miss.
Ooh.
The DM rooting against the miss. Don't hit. I don't want these little villagers to die. Even though I put them there. Okay, that doesn't have a swimming speed. Oh yeah, but that's Oh, I would have missed anyways. Okay, good.
Easy if you haven't seen the camera.
Oh yes, you've got
He's
the
rubbing
small
his
pupper.
wound.
Nice.
You're rubbing your wiener again.
Yeah, he's rubbing his wiener on Twitch, man. He's gonna get us banned.
Turning Twitch into Chatterbait. Let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen bits?
All right. So, that reef shark. Fortunately for y'all, missed. This one.
Can I spend bullshit bucks to make? No.
Yes.
Reef Shark 2.
It's
although the Justin, the eponymous Justin, I found out he's on TikTok and he seems like a really humble dude.
Nice.
Oh, exceeds being a good time for Commoner 3.
Oh yeah, and then it's his next turn again. Oh man, yep. It's always like right before the next turn. And it's like he's been like right at the brink of being able to get the fuck out of the water. Like if he would just not die or not go unconscious, he could get out of the water in his next turn.
Come on, Mortal Downey Jr.
But then wouldn't they all like provoke an attack of opportunity?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Hey, shh.
I know.
Get out of here. Metagaming to our disadvantage.
All right.
Only when it's funny and or helps us.
Okay. Huh. Healing void. On that guy. As his bonus action. And his movement, he heard Lucius say something about a guy underwater. So he uses 10 feet to dive down. This is 30 feet, so which means he only has about 5 feet of swimming, but that's fine. Where is 10 feet? 20, so you'd have 10 feet swimming. Okay. But he's gonna get right up on that dude, and he's gonna create bonfire. No, he's just gonna create a nice bonfire.
Spencer's floating disc yourself out of there.
Yes. So he's out of spell slots, unfortunately, but he does have his dagger. Unfortunately, he has to make the attack with disadvantage because of underwater combat.
Portals. Just roll all those dice.
Oh.
All right. Well, it was the effect of the spell. So luckily, at this point, the bless should have gone away for him, but luckily it didn't matter because he
yeah. That's a big number there, Petey.
He rolled well.
You dropped a 20.
Okay, so and then he does some nice little amount of damage. Yeah, he just goes over there and slices his guts, the Sahuagin's guts right open. And you see that.
Nice.
And you see the Sahuagin and float up, and Summer, you see the back of the Sahuagin just kind of float up. And you see like a pool of red kind of form around him.
Yes.
And
you had the commoner targeted on that one, so it's extra dying.
Oh, what?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah, you attacked the commoner.
Oops. Never mind.
The biggest oops of Mortal's career.
Oopsie poopsie. How many points? 6 hit points. Okay.
Mortal's the cop from Die Hard now. He's gonna carry that with him for the rest of his life.
Wait. So he probably didn't kill the Sahuagin. Let me. Where's the Sahuagin?
I was no.
Yeah.
I know. I didn't say anything, based on what people are telling me, but thinking, man, he's only been hit twice and he died. That was a pretty weak ass Sahuagin, but I'll take it. Sure.
No, he slices into him and he's looking rough. He's bleeding. It's like, oh. So, but damn. Okay, so now I gotta go back and where's this Reef Sharks? Put him back to hostile. I was already excitedly switching them to neutral.
Oh.
Oh well.
But it was still a successful turn. It's like mortal jumps in, just starts killing people. It's like
That's right. He's just like the end of MacGruber.
Slaughterfest.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Oh, wait,
I guess also the end of Roadhouse. Same thing happens, just less hilarious. But
so let's see. Oh, I forgot about that. Okay, never mind. No dramatic combat music. But that's all for Mortal. Commodore 6 finally makes it to shore. Joins a couple of the villagers, are able to get him out of the water. And it's the elf. He's the safety. Luckily, don't have to worry about him. Solero.
All right. So, 15 feet. I really hope that that's in my camera. I really hope there is a tiny dog in my camera right now.
Yes.
I mean, yes, there's a little snoot.
Yeah.
Little
snoot that needs booped.
Boop the snoot. Okay. 15 feet. All right. I'm gonna do something real dumb. Can I get a
please.
Can I get a running leap and then a stab at the Sahalajan?
Let's see. Let's do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. You can do like 5, 10, 15. Then you dive in there and go in with your.
Yeah, I want to go sword first.
So make your melee attack. It's underwater combat. It's still disadvantage.
Oh, god damn it. Okay.
Yeah. That was the mortal's attack was a disadvantage, and he's still. So you hit. And nice, and you carve a nice like chunk out of him, like a nice like swipe, and he is looking exceptionally rough.
Okay, still take my backswing.
Yeah, you can take your bonus action with your regular
and it would
sword.
be disadvantage because it's melee and
yeah.
Yeah, but
it's your regular.
Wait, how do I? I thought that this was supposed to automatically.
It's not doing it. I don't know. I think I just had to like probably manually fix it at some point, but
All right. Well, let's roll. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, it had 2 hit points left, so it doesn't matter.
All right.
You rolled 5, so it's dead. So you just like slice them up. How do you want to do it?
How much do these guys weigh?
Probably like I would say a little bit more than a human.
Damn. Okay. So I wanted to raise him up on my sword out of the water, but that seems like it would be a little. Okay, like, opposite.
Surface tension. Actually, you need to.
Yeah.
It says they weigh about 200 pounds on the internet.
Nice. Yeah.
So
200.
That you'd have to be a very strong.
Yeah. So you're gonna dunk on him.
Seeing as I'm a ranger and not like a barbarian or something, I'm gonna go ahead and dunk him into the water with my sword.
Like, and you push him down. He falls off your sword, goes down a bit, and it floats up again. Or no, he goes down. Fish, but I would say he flows in the midway. Figure he'll float up eventually. And then with them being dead, if I do this. It's like the reef sharks like stop what they're doing. But you know, I would say is a reaction.
Sorry, chaos just happened behind me because of a goddamn cat.
I would say Lucius probably intuits real quick on reaction that likely with the Sahwajin dead, the sharks will probably be less or non-hostile at this point.
Yeah. They will not be compelled to attack.
Yeah.
I suspect.
Yeah.
Whether or not instincts take over, who's to say?
Yeah. Chavo.
Go back to your reef.
Chavo kind of like looks over the water and just paces back and forth.
Yeah. He can stand down at the moment.
All that attractive.
Cause you're level 8.
Yeah.
Gate is working overtime.
Yeah. Hopefully, luckily the audience hears a little bit. Hears it. So, that being said, okay. So Chavo just kind of looks over the water, kind of worried. Doesn't really have anybody to charge at. He's not a swimmer.
Not sure what to do.
Yeah. There's nothing to climb and nothing to charge at. So Toby.
Well, I mean,
Get those sharks. Scare them away.
I don't have any problem with any sharks. I do have a problem with two of my ranged attackers being in the water.
I would say so. You know what? Like, combat is over. I would say with that, like, the sharks start to disperse. They just kind of like just move along. They go that, not disperse. They all go back out.
Good shark things with their friends.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
well,
I'm gonna say.
I guess we got to get these people and that pseudo dragon out of the water.
No, the pseudo dragon, he's flying above the water.
Or out from above the water.
Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, okay, everything's good." He's flying back.
He tried to magic missile the darkness and stab his stinger into the water.
You do see.
Someone help floaty tiefling.
You do see a familiar figure in robes.
Oh my
Pop forward
gosh.
from the crowd.
Thank you. Take over. Let's pass the baton to you.
Is that my boy Berlin?
Yeah, you see Berlin walk up. I mean, he
oh God, that's Berlin's music.
Because it's not like he wouldn't. If the people are in danger and people need to get to safety, he would come and try to do what he can. Like, let me see. What can he do? Cure wounds. Yeah. That's the ticket.
Yeah, he can. He can definitely do that.
Oh yeah.
So he's gonna. I don't have to worry about slots with him.
He just prays for him.
Yeah, and everybody cure wounds him. They get to safety. It's like they definitely they shout out to you. They shout out. They're able to make it all to safety. Everybody they'll say they'll shout out to you. They're all saying, "Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We'll remember your bravery. We'll remember you for the rest of our lives. Honestly, we are heavily indebted to you. Thank you so much." It's like Berlin, like, it gives you guys a nod, and it's like, we got this from here. Go, get yourself to safety, and you can feel the earth shaking, the earth shaking more. It's like, go. We have these. Thank you so much. So.
Exciting.
I will get back on land, grab my pat.
I was saying, and then as you guys gather yourself, you when one of you didn't notice it at first, but when the female you lifted her with your hand and she said thank you and kind of like shook your hand, you didn't notice that she kind of gave you a little trinket, Toby. And it's a little bracelet, a little design bracelet. It's like, and you didn't, in all the craziness, you didn't notice that she had said like, "Thank you, here, thank you," and she had handed it to you and then ran off. But in all the, you look, it's like, oh, you have a little like, it's like a little.
I want a magical puka shell necklace.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm not saying you could have found one. No. So yeah, everybody's safe. So, where do you guys head to next?
I will grab my pack and book it to the ship.
Yeah, it's time to sail away.
Come sail.
I'm not even gonna stop to make another wish. Just straight to the boat.
Yeah, so everybody gets to the boat. I mean, we don't need the map as much anymore, but I'll just put it on there.
Theater of the Mime.
Everybody gets on the boat. The sailor is like, okay, you guys are
the banana.
And then as you guys get up, the human, one of the human like crew members, like okay, is there? And then you do see a couple of the refugees, and you do see the couple of members. There's quite a few more refugees on the boat on there, and then the sailor that begs you, I was like, is there anybody else that you expect to come?
Nope.
Okay, all right, and then he looks out. Okay, and then they get everything unstowed, untethered, and unanchored, and start sailing away. You come sail away.
With me.
Yes. Okay.
Hey, what's the name of the ship again, Petey?
Wave Chaser.
Wave Chaser. Thank you.
Okay,
The
so
good ship Rocinante.
So, all right. So, let me pull up the things.
Light of Cygnus.
Are you sure? Okay.
Or be Don Quixote's horse. One or the other.
Okay. And you get quickly. Everything gets sailed off. You sail out in the ship. You start to sail out further out into the waters to safety. Flora Isle and the rest of Palma Flora grows Flora Isle grows smaller and into the Flora Isle and the rest of Palma Flora grows ever smaller on the horizon as Wave Chaser cuts through the choppy waters of the Lucidian Ocean. Several refugees from the village are huddled on the deck of the ship while the crew tends to the vessel. And so you guys are on the ship. So let me get rid of
fishing. We got fishing poles.
God, what am I?
You know what I'd be into right now?
I did that earlier.
Yeah. I saw that you did it and I was like, I wonder why she did that.
What did you do?
I was trying to scroll and I made a mistake and drag and drop and yeah.
I was just trying to copy it.
Yes.
Good luck.
All right. So share this with y'all. just to give you an idea of what the ship looks like. Put here.
Does it look like a restful place? That's all I'm worried about. I need to sit a spell.
You feel like you're going to be able to get some sleep tonight. I would say, I mean, you can credit yourself with your short rest now if you all want.
Oh yeah. Let me hit that button.
Hit that button.
Rest.
Short rest. Okay.
Yeah.
Take a short rest off a long pier.
Yeah, so short rest. I'll do it for mortal.
Well, I need that long rest to reset my hit die. I don't even remember when I used these. Apparently I did.
Okay, so how much? No, he doesn't need to. Short rest taken, which means not much for mortal. He needs those spell slots. All right, so let's go down there as you roll out. The wave chaser is a what? Where's the book? Okay. All right. So we'll talk about advances at night. I would say after this after like some RPing, we'll be able to do level 4, but after the RP. All right. So not only represents wave chaser. Okay, outfitted with. You do notice. You kind of like look around the boat. If you're in like you guys get a good view of the whole thing, because this like makes it.
You allowed that move. I see the light.
You can. So right now, I just gave you that so that you can like see, like even in the shadow, because obviously you can see everything. So it's like you don't see darkness. Because I know on the player side, we're only seeing darkness. But it's it's a two-mast, double-masted caravel, big like sails. Sizable. It's outfitted with a couple ballistas on its stern for ship-to-ship combat.
Awesome. Chekhov's siege weaponry.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd like. But it seems it's a nice, sturdy, seaworthy ship. It's. You do see that it's got, as far as you can clock, you see about. You don't see the tabaxi from earlier, but you see about you see 5 people that look like crew members. So here you go. A burly hairy man is playing a card game with some of the refugees. A half orc gazes out at the waves as she smiles at a dolphin leaping through the ship's wake. A young male elf with pale green skin and watery eyes is speaking to a female dwarf with a thick knotted beard at the ship's helm. And a handsome muscle-bound man is flirting with one of the refugees. Yeah. So
I mean, strike when the iron's hot, buddy. You just got eaten by a shark how many times? Yeah.
Yeah. So is there anybody who you want to approach?
I want to be the dude's wingman. I want to try to get this motherfucker laid.
Yes. So do you approach?
Yeah, I want to approach them. Can I? What's my charisma?
Yeah, it's like you see it's a human, but tan skin, pretty muscly physique, but it looks like it's more show than go. He's flirting with a kind of like masculine figure refugee with like some feminine features and a little bit longer hair and then a soft face. kind of handsome and pretty at the same time. One of the refugees she's kind of like looking down and smiling. They're looking down and smiling, and just kind of like putting the finger in their hair a little bit, like yeah. Oh yeah. We're pretty. The humans like, oh, we're pretty. Pretty big deal out here. We do a lot of city to city voyaging. Big money. We have to do a lot of manual labor and pretty tough stuff. It's a lot of hard work, but I like to keep this crew motivated and keep this crew going, and they rely on me for doing a lot of work around here. Yeah. Oh, that sure is nice. That sure is nice.
I see what you're doing there, Petey.
Yeah, the refugee, they seem interested. What do you say anything?
Yeah, I want to so since they see us as the adventurers, the refugee probably doesn't know a huge amount about us. I want to go up and try to lie my face off and say that I've seen him before. Try to get him to play along, like bolster his exploits on this boat.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you say? What do you think?
Like, I want to run up to him and be like, "Hey, wait! Didn't I see you in? Like, I saw you back in town. You guys were really going at it in the bar. You guys were really helping out during what was it? What was the guy in town? Who did we fight in town?
Well, there's
Fight
some
town.
orcs and Mega the Brash.
Brash, yeah. I'm gonna lie and say that he helped us fight off Mega the Brash.
Sorry.
Yeah, didn't I see you?
Yeah.
You guys, you guys were helping us out
I
back in Palma Flora.
we're just it's good honest work. We try to do our best. We're not adventurers, but sometimes you got to get your hands dirty. And he's looking at you like yeah, like he's excited, like thank you. Yeah. So roll I would say roll deception with advantage. It's the two of you.
Okay, where's my skills? Swear deception's gotta be high. Yes, I did put the deception pretty high. Awesome. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
And then like
Plus
you do
4,
notice,
I can't get shit.
I would say so. You do notice like that they, the refugee, they like look at you and they've kind of been like coy and like laughing and like kind of rolling their eyes and like, and they like, honey, he looks at you and it looks at him like, honey, I already think you're hot. You don't need to make up stories. Come on, let's just hang out and talk. You're a cutie. There's no need to lie. I think, and they look at you like, bless you, but thank you so much. Thank you for helping him out. He's kind of a reserve, but it's all right. It's all right.
Oh,
I already think you're. Come on, let's just go here, and then they you know what? See me at the cabin. See me at the cabin downstairs. Have a little talk, maybe a little drink. Maybe we don't have to. You don't need to exaggerate. But I think he might need. I think they might need a little help up here. But see me a little bit later. And they saunter on down. He's like, and he looks behind, like, oh, nice. Yeah. So and then he looks at you. He's like, "Hey, man, thank you anyway." So that was awesome right there.
Great pity party for me. Awesome.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I'm really happy that you came in there. I really appreciate it. Hey, so how are you guys? How are you guys doing? How are you guys holding up? How you all holding up? You guys good? It says in medieval speak.
I'm a little sore, but
yeah, it's mostly
doing all right. Doing all right. Glad to be on the boat.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good ship up here. I mean, yeah, everybody's, it feels like a nice group of people that we have on here. We feel like a family. It's really nice.
Mm.
Y'all
really
ever see
you guys helped us out.
Yeah, we're happy to try to get people to safety and help them out. We got the ship, so might as well get help what we can.
Yeah, thank you. Very, very kind offer to take all of us on board. Have y'all seen an island sink before? It's new to me.
It's new to me. I mean, it's not unheard of, I think, but not like that. I mean, you figure it takes like a really long time to happen, but like, I'm no geographist. I'm just a navigator. I just know how to get around, and
There's
read
magic
maps.
afoot.
Yeah. I'm glad to have you guys. So yeah, enjoy the ship. Hopefully you go around, meet everybody. We'll be able to stay out there and rest the night tonight, and get some sleep, and gonna plan for the morning. If you don't mind, I'm gonna go downstairs.
You do that.
Oh, sorry. My apologies. I've been rather rude. My name's Kajori. Your name's? He reaches out.
Summer.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm Lucius.
Oh yeah, he goes he looks to Toby.
I'm Tom Bombadil. Tom Bombadillo. No, I'm Toby.
Yeah, you my man. And he reaches out to Solero with a big welcoming a handshake. What's your name, my friend? What's your name, my friend?
Solero.
Nice.
I reach out my hand and shake his.
Enjoy your time. Rest up. And then he sneaks off downstairs. So, yeah. So, anybody else you want to approach? You got the
I want to talk to the elf.
The elf, yeah.
I guess the elf and the dwarf.
The elf and the dwarf you go up to the helm. Do you all go, or just let him have the conversation on his own? Or do you all go as a group up to the helm?
We all go to the bathroom together,
I'll stay
everybody.
where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'll go up there as well.
Okay. Anybody else, or is just the two of them? Yeah. For now, yeah. Just
I feel like having the whole group would probably be a bad idea.
Yeah.
So you guys hang back.
Hey guys.
Strange.
And Mortal just kind of he's looking out out into the horizon, with Sue on his shoulder, or on the top of his shell. The part that's
on his back collar.
Yeah. So you approach the two of them. It's like they're kind of like having a conversation. Yeah. Okay. I think that'll work out. It's like, and then they look towards you. It's like the half of welcome aboard the Wave Chaser. Good to meet you. May, how may I address the both of you?
Oh, I'm Lucius, and this
I'm
here is
Summer.
Summer.
Yes, wonderful. My name's Diliu. Is he kind of gives it like a
Can you spell that?
Dillyu.
Delia. This is the elf.
Yes, I know that.
Okay.
Yeah, Diliu. This is it's a green skinned, what would be called a sea elf. Like elf skin, but comfortable around the sea. It's not necessarily salty dog, but they're good sailors. And it's like, this is my
We'll
compatriot.
start calling every other elf land elves now. They go out and play some ball golf as I'm throwing my disc golf.
And he gestures to the dwarf. This is Heidi Axebeard. And the dwarf's like, howdy. Welcome aboard the Wave Chaser. And she says, she's like, kind of like scratches her beard a little bit and just kind of just gives like an awkward like nod. Like,
thank you very
No,
much.
I want to hear. I want to hear that the dwarf talk some more.
yes.
Time to spark up some conversation.
Yes.
I want to figure out where that accent was going.
I
love it.
Sounded Swedish.
Yeah.
What was her name again? It was Heidi
Axebeard.
Axebeard. Okay.
Heidi said howdy. I will remember that.
Howdy. Yes. Howdy. I was trying to go for something like Irish. Howdy expert.
Oh, hi Tatoy.
Howdy expert. Because it's rhotic, and I don't know how to consistently be doing that.
No, I mean, I was going with it. That was a good time.
So
role playing experience doled out to the DM. There we go.
Yes. Yes. Welcome. Do you have any questions about the ship? About do you have any questions? Do you have any concerns? Do you need anything?
I think where are we headed? Where are you taking us?
Right now, well, that's part of the plan. Right now, we're just getting out onto the ocean, and then we're gonna, once you kind of get out into a comfortable space, mostly just a little bit out into the city and ocean. From there, we're gonna position ourselves somewhere where we can easily make our moves anywhere along the shore. We mostly stay in coastal waters, so we're just kind of getting out of the perimeter of action.
Understandable.
Yeah.
What kind of trade are you guys in?
What brings y'all to town?
We were visiting the town, looking to do some commerce. We mostly just do some importing and exporting across towns and things like that. But mostly we do a little bit of we also do a little bit of exciting treasure hunting, like adventurers like yourselves. I've only been on the crew for a few days, and so I forgot to mention. Okay, so real quick side discussion with me and Lucius.
Okay.
Because this does influence his choices in conversation. So I'll be right back. So of the five people, you recognize everyone except for the elf and the half orc. You recognize them as people you've seen on that have been part of this ship in partly in passing, and partly whenever you needed to go to Darktoe. You would see them on the ship, and they're not treasure hunters. You usually worked with the people that did the smuggling, stuff like that.
Okay.
A little bit higher. You were a little bit more kind of talk. We had more conversations with higher higher tier than them, but you have seen them. Like you would be working with somebody else, and you see the wave chaser come by, and you would recognize these figures, and you know that you remember not the names of the crew. Maybe you heard Heidi Axbeard before, but you do remember that their captain is a pretty wily tabaxi named Three Earrings.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's information you would know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Named Three Earrings.
Yeah.
So their talk of and non-answer is fine. Their talk of importing and exporting across towns. Would I? Is this? I guess. Would I know that this is the kind of organization where they've gained a rank?
If they've done, they're pretty low level, but they do get good work. Like they're not super low. Like they're not scrubs. So they get work, and import expert. You hear that and you say, oh, okay, they worked with treasure hunting and treasure hunting, or in reality it means scavenging, places where like grave robbing in the sense, but like in a sense, but like a temple or some place where maybe they it's not just like relic hunting, it's they're stealing from places, or they're getting stolen artifacts and stolen or fenced artifacts from one place to another surreptitiously.
Okay.
So and I would say, and give me an insight check.
Okay.
It's funny when they see you do an insight check. I was like, why is he doing an insight check?
Oh, that's a 6.
And from, as far as you can tell, it's not, you're not getting a complete good read on this guy, but as far as you can tell, when he says import export, he seems honest, and he seems a little bit like he actually believes that they're just doing honest work. As far as you can tell, like it's hard to
sure.
But yeah, and which, but you don't get a good read on him.
Gotcha.
I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's it. All right, I'll drop you into there, and then I will join now.
When you're laying down the funk.
Yeah.
Don't be like me and work retail and be in danger every day.
It's a terrible way to increase your bass guitar output.
Yes, exactly.
Listen to Bootsy Collins.
Best Buy hasn't sold instruments in quite some time.
Exactly.
Good.
They used to.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So as he says that, it's like, yes. We dabble in that in here and there. Yeah, I was to say that was unexpected.
Dabble.
Yeah.
People don't dabble in good things. I hope I'm over here in like only the most unimportant details.
You're not there.
No, I am not.
So, I'll kind of turn my attention to Heidi and ask, what brought you to town? Just Anything in particular?
We figured there was good work there in town. I think the captain might know a little bit more, might be able to tell you a little bit more in detail, but but we were just looking for work. It's we definitely didn't expect the Sahwajin to do that, and we definitely didn't expect anything like that. Like I've fought a few Sahwajin in my day, but I've never seen them wield magic like that. Is wild.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't say I have either. What I assume you were on the ship, but did you see anything before it happened? Before the commotion just totally happened?
I was just tending to the sales and I'm working on things, and I heard the shaking, and I was I knew I had to get things ready for a retreat.
Mm.
And I didn't see much other than what you guys saw.
Interesting.
I'm assuming I'm just still standing there in my swimsuit.
Yes, you got your swimsuit, which and and I forgot to mention like the how it's designed. It's like it's a slightly white stripe up top, with, kind of like form fits, and then it ends. It's kind of like short style at the bottom, ends at like your upper thigh, because it's like you can tell that it's so that it makes the tail hole less awkward.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You fit your. And
I wondered about that.
Yeah, your tail kind of like fits through really nicely, and it's not, and it doesn't, and it's really well made. It doesn't pinch even at the tail. Like you've had, swimsuits before, and it's usually an issue with like maybe sometimes it's either the tail hole is too loose or it pinches a little bit, or you can't. But she was able to get it fit right.
Very nice.
She did good work.
Very nice.
I'm in like really short, loose-fitting board shorts and a mariner's jacket.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you have a shirt on?
No.
That's great.
Seafarer's jacket. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Where could we find the captain?
Good thing you asked. She definitely was wanting to see you a lot. She'll be in her cabin, just, one deck lower in the stern. Under the stern, or whichever the
One of
boat
them's
term
the bow.
of the back.
Okay.
One of
Whatever's
them's the
the
poop deck.
Yeah. The poop deck's a couple of, it's more of a chamber pot. It's wild when you see a chamber pot sway with the sea. It's like a. We mostly just squat over the sides and just fire.
Oh my god.
No. But yeah, she'll be on. She'll be on the just one deck down, towards the stern. You'll be able to see wide doors. Just where.
All right.
Yeah. So I guess or when I walked up, I forgot to ask the elf. You said he had watery eyes. Did he? Was it like upset watery, or
just that like it's like
because he's a sea elf?
Yeah, it's more like it's a feature. It's like there's like a there's like a film. You know, it's
Okay.
not unlike how you always see every every water genasi you ever met is sort of damp, just all the time. You know,
Right.
it's just damp. You know, just in general, like they're like a little sweaty. And you know, if the more racist people you've been around have jokingly repeatedly offered water genasi, you know, towels or napkins and things like that. And similarly, you've seen that a particularly mean thing to do is to like say to like a sea elf, like, oh, are you upset? Here, you give them a, like, you know, maybe try to comfort them as if they're crying, but as a joke.
Oh. Oh.
But yeah, that's one of those things that, you know, that's a feature. But yeah,
Gotcha. Cool. I'll kind of give bid adieu. You know, well, I'm sure we will see you around. It was good to meet both of you.
Yes. Yes. Wonderful to meet you. Wonderful to meet you.
And I will. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They kind of like nod their heads.
Oh, and I'll let him know. If you need a helping hand, let me know. I know my way around a boat.
Yeah. It seems like you all kind of don't seem out of sorts on this on a vessel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've. You got to get work where you can sometimes.
Oh, don't I know it? Don't I know it? Well, farewell.
Farewell.
Noodles.
I will go back to the group and inform them that apparently the captain wants to speak with us. And so I assume that means all of us. The lot.
You lot. Yeah. So what do you guys do? There's a couple of people you haven't talked to, but you can just go straight to the captain.
I just assume we would go straight to the captain.
Okay.
Yeah, we can introduce ourselves later.
Yeah, you look around while you're there. Yeah, you see them, and also you kind of like glance over. You do notice before you head out to the captain, you do notice that the island refugees have created makeshift shelters from the sun. Yeah, a couple the couple that you saved from the waters were there. You see Joao, you see I forgot her name, but the couple shark hunters are there, and they're all kind of setting themselves up there with like tents and shelters and things like that. Yeah, as you go downstairs, you go into, I imagine, just go straight to the cabin.
Petey, can I pause you and ask if this would be a good stopping point?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Spoilers. Jeez.
It's okay. Yeah. I was gonna say just a couple more.
I'm in that boat.
Which is the same boat, just a little bit further down. But yeah, so as you walk in the quarters, a tabaxi is hunched over a wide table, puzzling over a map pinned to its surface by a half dozen knives and daggers. Several golden rings glisten on her paws as she traces potential paths throughout the ocean. She glances up at you with emerald eyes as you open the door, and her feline face spreads in a sharp-toothed smile that is equal parts cheerful and unsettling.
Oh no, is that what happens when Summer smiles?
Welcome. You are the heroes from the pretty village, yes? Welcome aboard, Wave Chaser. We have much to discuss about the sinking isle and the treasure we can find if we return.
Ooh.
Yeah, and that's where we'll call it for tonight's episode. We're kind of like kind of like ran a little long, but it was just finding the right stopping point narrative wise. But yeah, thank y'all for sticking with us for this another fantastic episode of Through the Tomes. Be sure to check the show notes for links to the resources we use and the places to support really great creators. And thank you for hanging out with us. Next week we're gonna follow further along into the adventures of the party on the Wave Chasers and see what hijinks they'll get into after meeting the captain. We're also gonna at this point do some level 4 leveling, which for most of everyone is just ability score stuff or a feat if you want. There's an optional additional fee. We'll discuss it then. And then somebody's gonna be able to start swimming in wild shape.
Yeah.
That person's Toby. No.
And it might involve another schlocky dream sequence. Hey.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Because what works. Wild Mother is going to imbue you with additional powers. So that's the fun thing. But mostly it's going to be pretty quickly. Just hit dice stuff and HP stuff and things like that. But that'll get done quickly. But that'll be next week. And this is this week. Thank you for hanging out with us for Through the Tomes. Be sure to hang out with us every week on Tuesdays live on Rebelli TV on Twitch, twitch.tv/RebelliTV, RABELLY TV. For Tuesdays, we do Through the Tomes. Wednesdays, we do Record Breakers, our music podcast where we share music with each other, an album at a time. It's like a little book club for music. Thursdays, we do Space Truckin'. No Man's Sky willing. We'll have to figure out how it works this week, but that'll be then. We're gonna have to figure out backup plans. But we love No Man's Sky, and we're having a lot of fun. But that's the schedule. Outside of that, we might do other random streams. Rather group streams or rather random solo streams. Right now, depending on my energy level and my time, I'm going through a playthrough of Control now that it's on Game Pass. I'm enjoying it rather well, and you can see the VODs for the first couple of chapters of my playthrough. They don't have gameplay audio, so because Twitch soundtrack made it so gameplay audio doesn't work.
Sounds like a solution.
Yeah, but I think I fixed it. So future times, and it always works for the stream. If you watch live, you would definitely be working, and in the future, the VODs will be working. But yeah, keep an eye out there. Check out the schedule. Follow me on Twitter, PDRave, to see when we're going live. But yeah, that's it for that. Follow, like, share, do all the things. Until next time, hasta los huevos.
Hello.
Bye.
Get ready for existentialism and cocaine tomorrow.
#find Luke.